Hi, well, I'm going to show a little video here on how I sharpen. There's so many ways to do it, and I can't say this is less expensive, because when it started out it might have been, because I just started with the Scarry Sharp, but now I've added the diamond things and that sort of thing, and so they're all expensive. Even if you go with the more expensive, I think it's like Torx or something like that, where the wheels turn. Eventually you can get $500-600 into it very quickly. So what I did is the shelf that I built that there's a video on where I can just slide these things off. I moved my sharpening station over there, and I can pull it off. And that's this right here, and in here I have a drawer, and this is where I keep. I just went to Home Depot and bought some marble squares, and I slide them in and out, and those are what I use to put. And here's where I store my different sizes of sandpaper and some other odds and ends, and the instructions for different things, and a really good file that I use for burnishing. And so I have that, and this is one of the drawers that fits in that also. This has some parts to the different things in my system that I use. These were my original stones for sharpening. Those are really not stones, those are the diamond. And they worked really well, but they only went up to $750, and they're smaller. But it got me going on that. And now I use this Veritas guide, and oh my gosh, that makes things so easy. You use this, and what I do is you can see on my I don't know if you can see down there, but see it says 2-25. So I know that I'm on the second angle here, and I'm on the 25-degree mark. And that's how I remember where, because I do different ones. And this stone here is 220 on one side, and I think it's 325 on the other. Then I go to the 600 and 1200, and those work really well, and they're nice and big, and they're always flat. Then I move from there to my 1500, because I'm already at 1200. And then I move to 2000, 2500, and my newest additions is a 4000 and an 8000, and those are DMT diamond plates. And then I use a strop that I made out of a piece of wood and some leather, and I use this flex cut. Let me see, this is a polishing compound, and I use that, and I can really get down. This angle gauge is my favorite one. This one works really well, and like I said, I absolutely love this this unit here. And also I have, this is a flattening stone. I think it's it's 120, and it's diamond. But boy, if you got like my beat up chisels that I have for not worrying if I hit something and put a ding in them, boy, I can just bounce these down to get an edge back on them, starting with that very quickly. And the reason I'm sharpening all of these right now. Normally, I just kind of remember which ones I use at a different project, but I made a mistake. I built out of some wood, just some scrap wood, these blocks to hold my chisels, and they work really well. Glued them together and then sanded them and that sort of thing. That way I don't have them in these boxes here, and I would never pull them out. So I've got a maple one, and there's some leftover, some other kind of wood back there that I put those in. And by the way, those bent chisels, I just love them. They're great for, make their angle as steep because I use them especially for popping out mortises, like for hinges, and they're good for getting glue out of corners and that sort of thing. But anyway, back to my mistake. When I glued this together, I was so anxious to put my bits in there. I gave it about an hour or so. It was all glued together. I sanded it and everything, and then I put my chisels in there, and the glue, and I'll show you what's happened to some of the chisels here. The glue, I think, had moisture in them, and it see that rust on that? It rusted the ends. So I've got to redo these. So I'm literally starting from scratch to do it. And anyway, so I think I'll go ahead and I'll do this. I've just loaded this one in here. In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll unload it and kind of reload it and show you start to finish. But I'll be playing this pretty fast, so I'll speed it up when I get it on the computer, and that way you don't have to. But you can kind of see how I roll with it. I start each one with a small piece of rag. This is an old pillow, but I use T-shirts, that sort of thing. And I start with that, and for each one of these, I'll use that, and I spray these with a spray bottle, and then I clean them as I go. Especially when I'm starting like this, I'll start at about 220 and get it down to size, and I'll clean it off as it gets to looking blackish. And by the time I get done wiping these dry, I throw that piece of rag away and start with another one on the next one. But anyway, that's what we have here. So I'll go ahead and also I do very similar, the same thing like with my my planes, my hand planes, and you'll notice, like, it may be kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see in this hand plane, you can see I've written inside on the blade itself how, what the angle is and what number I put it on. So, and they seem to stay on there very well, so works pretty good. But anyway, I'll go ahead and get ready to set up here, and then we'll kind of speed it up as we go. Thanks.